So tell me this, Tina. You think the Danish government are correct to bring in this ban?
Absolutely.
But isn't it a bit weird living in a place where the government dictate what you can wear?
Sometimes you have to tell stupid people what they have to do, and they are very stupid and dangerous people.
So you think they're stupid and dangerous for wearing face veils?
Absolutely.
And you say this as a Muslim woman?
Absolutely. And I can confirm that I am a Muslim. La ilaha illallah. I am a Muslim.
Why are they dangerous? Why are people who wear a niqab dangerous?
Because it's not only the clothing, it is the whole mentality, their inability and unwillingness, actually, to mix with the rest of the population. And when they say, oh, no, we are a very peaceful people, this and that, and we actually, they are a burden, they do not work, they never will work, they only multiply like rats, yes, rats. And I have to work and support them. No.
Listen, Tina, it's powerful stuff. I would love to get some response and counter comments to what you said. Thank you, Tina, a Muslim woman who thinks it's outrageous that other Muslim women take their faith or religion to the extent where they cover up their face. Divisive and dangerous, she says. Oppressed, even. Thoughts on this? The Danes are bringing this one in tomorrow. This country has never gone near this debate, but other countries around Europe have. 0345 6060 973.
Collins on LBC.
Leading Britain's conversation, let's go back to more of your comments. Don't go away, David, with you in a second. Abbas is in Redbridge. What are your thoughts, Abbas?
Hi there, good morning, Ian.
Morning.
Well, I think the problem with banning things is that where do you stop? I mean, and we live in a society where if a person's freedoms do not infringe upon the freedoms of others, then we tolerate those freedoms. That's what we do because it's a civilized society. And I think the second that we start to change things around simply because we don't like the look of something, I think we start treading on very dangerous ground. And I think Tina, was quite insulting, actually, because she was calling these people stupid, somehow that they're all uneducated and unsophisticated simply because they decide to wear a niqab. And that's just a very narrow-minded and a very stereotypical view, quite frankly. And I think she doesn't really know what she's talking about. At the end of the day, there is a minor opinion within the Islamic faith that the niqab has to be worn. The majority opinion for most people is that it doesn't need to be. That does not mean to say that we should force people to conform to a particular viewpoint. As long as their freedoms don't infringe on my freedoms or your freedoms, we should allow people to...
But some people would say, they would argue, Abbas, that actually it does encroach because it creates a cultural and a societal divide. It means that social cohesion is near on impossible, that people who are that wedded to their faith would have no desire to mix. They would lead their own autonomous lives. So therefore it's in all of our interests to not have any kind of religious roostering of any kind, whether it's the niqab or something else.
Well, look, for the basic Muslim tenets are that we don't socialize with the opposite sex unless there are family, mothers, daughters, wives, or sisters. We shouldn't just socialize for the sake of socializing with the opposite sex because it can lead to other things. So that's no different for a woman that wears a niqab or a woman that doesn't. Now, I agree that some Muslims perhaps don't observe those things. But at the end of the day, this is a basic tenet within most of Islam. You can't sort of say, oh, if you took the niqab off, suddenly these women would suddenly be socializing with people and integrating a lot more, because that's not going to happen. Yeah. Obviously, within the confines of work, if you're a teacher, a doctor, I have many friends who are doctors, teachers, and what have you. Of course, they have to have interaction with the opposite sex. They have to have interactions with the wider community. That in the Islamic setting is allowed. But and the other thing, Ian, that you sort of mentioned that people wear these sort of medieval clothes because they want to look like 6th century, 7th century, religious folk or whatever.
Well, I don't say they want to look like that, but it just does look like that from the outside.
Well, within the Islamic faith, I asked my uncle, who passed away, but he's a very sort of prominent scholar in Pakistan, in fact. And I said, look, people like to wear this sort of traditional Asian dress when they go for their Friday prayers. What should I wear? What's the best thing to wear? And he said, actually, the best thing to wear, we've been told by the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, is wear the best clothes of your community. And my community is England. I was born and brought up here.
But that answers the question, doesn't it? If you go to certain... But if you go to certain parts of the UK, you won't see a representation of that.
Well,
you will see people dressing anything that looks British.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I do occasionally dress in Asian sort of attire, but predominantly I dress in the clothes of my culture and my society, which is England, which is a nice pair of trousers and a nice shirt. As long as it's conforming with modesty, it's not revealing or whatever, it's fully acceptable to wear.
All right, fair point. Abbas, thank you for that.